Tell me a company secret that you can share because you don't work there anymore.
I used to work for Starbucks a long time ago, and here's some secret. Most of the time, we used to spell your name wrong on purpose. We used to get told, spell their name wrong, they'll do free advertising for us. You're going to put it on your social media, you're going to talk about it. If it goes viral, you've just done an advertisement for the company. If you're rude to your barista, they will give you decaf coffee. Tastes the same, you're just not going to get the coffee kick you need. Likewise, if you're nice to your barista, you are going to get stuff knocked off. They won't charge you for extra shots, they won't charge you for extra syrup. They'll make your coffee beautifully. The love you give them is the love you're getting back. Look for the person with the black apron. Now, I don't know if they do this anymore, but those people are coffee masters. They have been trained to make beautiful coffee. They know what they're doing. They'll make it expertly. Most of the staff will have tried all the foods and all the drinks, so get them to make you something that they think is nice, because I'm telling you, it's always a winning combination. It might not be on the menu, but they'll have mixed a couple of flavors together to make you something beautiful.
Part 2 of revealing company secrets, because y'all seem to like it, so here are some more. If you go to Home Depot and you don't like the price of something, every employee can alter the price of any item up to $50 off without a manager approval. All you gotta do is ask. A lot of people will never pass the queue and releases because their IP has been banned. A Publix employee put me onto this. Instead of buying pineapples chopped already, you can buy a whole pineapple and take it to the deli and they can cut it up for you, save some money. Walmart pours bleach on any food they throw away so the homeless people won't eat it. When y'all rent an apartment, it only costs like $3 to $5 to run your application, so these $100 to $200 application admin fees is just for the company to steal money from you. Oh, and the apartment is not clean when you move in. Bleach that MF down, trust me. I did outreach for a health insurance company. We were told to tell members about our mental health benefit, but not really promote or help people access it because the company lost money when people actually used the services. Company Secrets Part 3. I worked customer service for a big phone company when there were still landlines. In the system, we could see when people's lines were tapped by the FBI, or rather they were grayed out with a Fed warning so no info showed. We were told to tell them the system's down, call later. Hella people daily. When Macy's employees report shoplifters, they get the value of whatever was being stolen in store credit. In June, they get double. No penalties for false reports. Pharmaceutical companies give doctors bonus checks for pushing their medications. Prescribing you certain medications is a source of income for medical providers. Doctors at some hospitals are rewarded for how many patients they turn over to surgery, so always get a second surgical opinion from a different medical group if it sounds a little extreme. If you go to any Whole Foods employee and give them a package of something you want to try, they're required to open it and sample it for you, LOL, due to the 100% satisfaction policy, man. They'll let you try anything you want. If you hear the words, "my friend Nick is here," basically anything involving the name Nick at Urban, Anthropology, or Free People, someone thinks you're stealing or you're being racially profiled. Alright, y'all, it's killing it, so here's part 4. So, ex-housekeeper here, never drink out of the glass cups. Your shower is wiped down with the used bath towel. Always wear shoes, because guess what's hard to get out of carpet? Hair. Always check your sheets. Look for hair. Some housekeepers do not change sheets and never eat the CB. To go along with the last one, this man said the Radisson Hotel that I worked at doesn't wash the drinking glasses in the rooms. We just use disinfectant spray and a rag right there in the room. We warned ahead of time when there was an inspector coming, and I was instructed to lie about it by at least one person. MTV's Catfish, they already know who the catfish is before they start filming. More times than not, the catfish is the one who reaches out to the show. On talent shows like X Factor, before singing in front of the judges and audience, you sing in front of the producers and they can choose who goes on to be on the first episode of auditions. Bad singers are deliberately put through for entertainment. Don't ever, ever, ever buy hygiene or beauty products from TJ Maxx. 80% of it is used and or resealed. When people return stuff, they put it directly back on the shelf. Clothes and worn underwear. Back with part 5. All the Subway meats come in plastic bags of liquid. The roast beef specifically has neon pink, green, and orange spots on it when it is in the bag. I'm not sure what exactly it is, but I wouldn't trust. It's been years since I worked at AMC, but when I did, if you ordered popcorn first thing in the morning, it was leftover from the night before, kept in a bag in the back with a fresh batch on top so it was hot. A lot of animal abuse goes unreported in Petco grooming salons, and even when it is reported, rarely anything is actually done about it. Petco will suspend an employee for a few days to investigate, which doesn't actually mean anything. Best day to get a TV at Best Buy is a couple days after the Super Bowl. People will buy them for the big game and then return them, and we're stuck putting them on open box. You can usually negotiate them down to like 50% off, and they price match online stores on most things. Worked for AT&T. Our techs fix your phone all right. They search for your nudes, videos, even the ones you think are deleted, then they copy them to another device. Part 6, here we go. Sears used money from their Heroes at Home charity to stay afloat. Customers thought they were helping build homes for families of disabled vets. In reality, the money was being rung up as gift card purchases. 50 families got $200 gift cards and millions stayed on balance sheet. Ticketmaster sells a ton of tickets to brokers. That's why you can never buy good seats at face value. Live Nation and Ticketmaster have a gold mine with resale tickets. They make money on every transaction. Seller and buyer, the same tickets resold over again, generates more money for them. 90% of bars and clubs serve you Smirnoff vodka in a Grey Goose bottle with a sparkler to hide the fact that the bottle had been opened already. Don't bother trying to be flash, you're being conned. If you go to any Five Guys location and demand that you want your burger well done or rare, you gotta mention it a couple times. They'll give you a burger on the house. It's the Five Guys way. Watches made by Michelle, Michael Kors, Armani, Burberry, Diesel, Kate Spade are all just Fossil watches. Then Prada sunglasses you paid almost $600 for cost the same to manufacture as the ones from Shein.
Tell me a company secret that you can share because you don't work there anymore.
When buying contact lenses, the same contacts that you get for 3 months, 1 month, 2 weeks, and 1 day are the same lenses. But I didn't tell you that.
Tell me a company secret that you can share because you don't work there anymore.
So I used to work for Walmart Distribution Center, the really large warehouses that ship everything out for every Walmart store pretty much everywhere. Everything on every aisle, every shelf, everywhere in the store has gone through about 20 different hands before it actually makes its way to the store. Every single item you see in that store, whether it be in the aisle, in the grocery section, or electronics even, has been thrown around, crushed, stepped on, spit on, and basically handled with absolutely no care whatsoever. On top of this, every manager I ever worked under had some kind of sexual misconduct allegation that ended up getting them fired after literal decades with the company. I worked for this company for 7 years, and they paid me just enough to keep me from quitting, until I reached a breaking point. And if this video even gets one comment asking for more behind-the-scenes stories, I will tell. So I did not expect that response on my last TikTok, but I guess you guys want more of my stories, so here we go. Secrets from a Walmart Distribution Center former employee, Part 2. Let's talk about productivity numbers for a sec. So we've all heard the horror stories about Amazon warehouses and how some of their employees have to wear diapers or use bottles simply to use the bathroom. And whereas for Walmart distribution centers, when I first got hired on 7 years ago, their productivity numbers were to scan and ship out 2,300 boxes in 12 hours. We actually worked 12-hour shifts. Now, this wouldn't really be too big of a deal. Yes, it sounds like a high number, but once you got used to the system, it was pretty easy to hit that 2,300 in 12 hours. The problem came when you're doing something like my job, which was called batching, which is just their word for loading the trucks. If you look back a couple of my TikToks, you'll see one that actually has me in a dark trailer. That was actually the trailers I would work in all of my 12-hour shifts. Now, the people who are scanning those 2,300 boxes in a 12-hour period, there would be about 30 of those people, and all of those boxes would go onto a conveyor belt that would go to one of 5 batchers. Meaning that in that 12-hour shift, any one of those 5 people were loading about 13,000 boxes. Now, again, this sounds really difficult, but once you got used to it, it wasn't too bad once your body adjusted. The problem came with every single year, they would up those processors' productivity numbers. By the time I left 7 years later, the processors had to process 5,200 boxes into a 12-hour period. Meaning that one of those 5 people, me included, had to stack up and keep up with almost 31,000 boxes in a 12-hour period. And God help you if you needed a break. If you needed to go to the bathroom or grab a drink or anything, you needed to hope to God somebody was outside of your trailer or nearby it who you could call over and say, hey, could you take over for me for 2 minutes so I can go pee? There was no way of stopping that conveyor belt. You had to keep up with that conveyor belt too, and it would continuously rush you all the time. It could range from anywhere between dog food to cat litter to anything ranging from virtually no weight at all to 90 pounds. If you were exhausted, you weren't getting a break for a number of hours, and it was quite commonplace for people to pass out from exhaustion. I personally witnessed that.
In restaurants you will get points, knocked off your health inspection if the faucet leaks, but you're not required to actually have a faucet.
Secrets big companies don't want you to know. Discontinued scents in bath stores are usually reused and remarketed and come back later on under a different name. TV networks speed up original shows in order to show you more commercials, and they speed up so little you can barely notice. To put it in perspective, a 30-second ad on a national network is about $115,000. So if a 30-minute show is sped up by just 2 minutes, that's 4 extra slots and they're making $460,000 more. Supermarkets add carbon monoxide to meat to make it redder longer. About 70% of supermarkets will add carbon monoxide to their meat, and this will make it more red and it will stay red even after it goes bad. Your printer's ink is actually not empty. Ink cartridges are meant to signal that they're low after a certain number of pages, so even if you're printing in just black and white, these colored ones are going to go down as well.
Tell me a company secret that you can share because you don't work there anymore.
Okay, I worked at Texas Roadhouse for 5 years, and a couple fun facts about the bread. The fresh baked bread, 2 of those pieces of bread is the equivalent amount of calories as 1 Big Mac. So if you eat an entire basket of bread, you just ate the amount of calories as 2 Big Macs. Also, the reason that they give you the bread in the first place and keep refilling it is to get you fuller faster so you don't finish your entree, so you get a to-go box and leave the restaurant quicker. So now you know.
This is how shady the trucking industry is. So there's no secret that there's a shortage of truck drivers that's been going on forever. That leads to absolutely every trucking company being desperate for drivers. And when someone's desperate, they do desperate things. Like one driver told me that before he signed on with another trucking company, that they promised him a certain pay rate, a certain number of miles each week, and a bunch of other things. But one day, his paycheck seemed a little low. So he went to go calculate how much he was really getting paid. It turns out that company completely cheated him on all of his paychecks. There are plenty of trucking companies that'll tell you everything you want to hear just so they can get you in the door and start working for them. And it's a real shame because these are the companies that are killing the industry, even though it's already dead to begin with.
Up and out the 1,000 little